Good evening and welcome to another Legion Outpost. Today we are continuing our series. This is video 3 in our series. This series is been going over how to get started in different factions. Well, we started about how to get started in your local areas. Now we're talking about the different factions. And the first one we talked about Shadow Collective because it was probably the easiest one to talk about. But before we get into our topic for the day, let's just talk about some giveaways we're doing. And so we are giving away some alternate card art. So here you are. You can see a couple different alternate card arts here. And we're giving away our wonderful Inquisitors alternate card art. And we're going to be doing a draw for everybody who is liked, subscribed, and comments in one of the videos leading up to the day that we're giving away. And that is when these guys get released in Canada. I'm saying in Canada because we seem to get things a little later than other people. So we're going to get that, and I will give it away to a lucky person. We have a couple other gifts that we're going to give away. So even if you don't get the main gift, you will get one of the other one gifts, maybe. You could still get nothing, but it doesn't hurt you. It's free to enter. All you have to do is hit subscribe, like, and comment. And there's people on here that are already got 3 or 4 different entries just because they commented about so many different videos. And so it's exciting to have the opportunity. But let's get to our main topic for today. And that is going to be how to get started in Legion in the GAR faction. Now, I say GAR faction because there is a couple different parts of the GAR faction. I didn't say clones because clones are just a part of the GAR faction. So, as I usually say, one of the best ways to get started is to buy a core set. And now the core set is good, really good with GAR. It's probably one of the good ways to get started. I want to give a caveat here, though. So the core set's good because you get a 2 core units, you get a vehicle of some sort, in this case is the Bark, and you get one of the great heroes of the game, in this is the case Obi-Wan. So you get a commander as well in the core set, and so it's always good to think about that and how you're going to get started. And it's not a bad way to get started because you get all the dice, you get all the cards, you get all the tokens that you need. So you're going to need the dice, you're going to need the rulers, you're going to need all that. So core set's a good way to start. Plus you get a small army that you can let somebody else use, or you can split the core set like I did my first time buying a box set. Now you don't need to buy multiples of these core sets. I just recently picked up this core set at Christmas for $50. So if you split it with somebody, it's $25 each. You're not always going to get that deal, but at Christmas I got it for $50. My 4th one of these core sets, and but I think if you're gonna get started in the GAR faction, the clone faction, you're going to want to buy the 501st. It's the best bang for your dollar. And why do I say that it's the best bang for your dollar? Well, here's the thing. I'll give you a bit of a breakdown. In the 501st, you get Anakin Skywalker, who is not in the core set, which is a bonus because now if you buy the core set and Anakin Skywalker, you now have 4 core units. You have 2 leaders. You have Anakin Skywalker and you have Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have 2 different vehicles. You have the Bark and the ATRT, which is really hard to get. You won't get it any other way other than buying this box set. At least in Canada, you can't find the ATRT. It's the only thing in the game I don't own is the ATRT for the GAR. And so I just can't find one, and I haven't around to buy this box. But I'm thinking if I'm going to build a GAR army, I probably will buy this box because I already have Anakin, so I'm only losing on that. But maybe I'll just do a different paint job with him. But you get 3 ARC troopers, so really that's 6 different units that you get. You can only ever play 4 of them max. If you're playing the 504 first, that's the thing, because you can each ARC trooper can actually make an ARC trooper and a strike team. So that's kind of why I say you get a bit more than that. And then you're getting 2 phase 2s. Now, me personally, I only have 1 ARC trooper, and I have 1 phase troopers, and all the rest are phase 1s for me because I just got 2 core sets, and then I bought the others when they came out. And so I'd probably get rid of one of the ARC troopers, but I'd keep everything else in this box set. Well, the other Anakin. Anakin, there's this card up there. He's a pretty good commander, and he's pretty relevant to the list. Now, let's go back to what I'm talking about here. So what you really need to buy, if you're going to get into this faction, the GAR faction, I recommend buying the 501st box set and the core set. That way you don't have to buy the dice or anything else separate. And then I recommend buying Padme and Yoda. And I put them in that order because you can play clones or GAR with just Padme and the 501st box. You can play GAR good list with any of these things. Let me just take a look at this for a second. I really say Padme's key to Yoda's good too, and he's in all the main lists right now. He's part of the what's going on in the meta. But Padme's really the list. It's Padme and a Force user mostly. Let's go to a couple lists that have recently won at tournaments or come in the top 8, I should say. So we got Yoda, Padme, Phase 1 Clone Troopers, Phase 1 Clone Troopers again. You got the Z6 and then the RPS 6 Trooper. Then we have an ARC Trooper with the DC 15, and then we have an ARC Trooper with Echo, and Echo's pretty much in every list. Then you have a Clone Commander. Now you would have to buy a Clone Commander box set, which we'll get to in a second. But Padme's really good because of things like Exemplar. You know, Authoritative is good too, but Exemplar is really good. Nimble Sharpshooter too. She actually hits pretty good with 3 black dice, but her guns, she can get an upgrade on that too. And then Quick Thinker, getting aim and a dodge means that there's an aim and dodge that other people can use because of Exemplar. So that's why she's pretty much part of most lists. And then this is the one that just won Las Vegas Open. This list here with Obi-Wan, Clone Commander Cody, which means you're going to have to buy Clone Commander Cody, Padme, Phase 2, Phase 1's ARC, and ATRT, which you can do all that with 501st, except for he has 1, 2, 3 medics in it. So you'd have to buy 3 of the upgrade. So let's look at some of the other stuff that you might want to get. So again, 501st Clone Commander, he comes with Wax and Boil, and here's his card. It's pretty good if you're going to use any vehicles. He directs vehicles, it gives them an order, and then 2 or 3 of these, which gives you the medic, the repair guy, it gives you the comms guy, and it also gives you the Clone Commander, which you can put in as your main leader or use him as a support leader. And so you can see in the other list, I had that list in there. Now, as I said, it's important. And I think the next big person is Yoda. Yoda makes a difference when it comes to GAR. You don't see too many lists now without a Force user, so Padme and a Force user. But Yoda is just so good. Now, why is Yoda really that good? Well, here's the thing. He has great cards. And so he's got guidance, which is huge. It allows you to give him action to one of your other characters. He's Master Force 2, so when you put force powers on him, such as barricade and different things, it allows him to protect the people, get them back. And Luminous Beings are we. Great cards. Every one of Yoda's cards are great because not only you get to play them, you can get them back and play them again. Because if you do them in the right order, you can play a card up to maybe 3 times. And the reality is, it's really, really good with all those tokens out there and them sharing them. You can do a lot of protection and a lot of dodging that can make your clones almost invincible. But the other thing is maybe you want to play with Chewbacca. Now, if you want to play with Chewbacca, you do have to buy the Chewbacca pack, and it's only available for the Rebels. So you get some Rebel cards, but when you buy Yoda, you get Chewbacca for the GAR faction cards. And basically this gives them one round where they're pretty much invincible, and Yoda can move on Chewbacca's back, and then Chewbacca uses red saves, and that's pretty amazing. And he gets deflect, which is pretty good. Now, saying that, there is a second way to play GAR. Now, I was talking about clones. The second way to play GAR is to talk about is Wookiees. Now, you can go into a full Wookiee battle force, and you can add just a little bit of Wookiees. I got into clones. Mainly, I bought clones because I wanted some Wookiees on the table, and there wasn't a full Wookiee battle force at the time, so I did 3 Wookiee units, and then my clones, and that's why I started playing it. So let's just look at what it might look like. And so if you're going to buy into the Wookiees, you're going to need 2 or 3 of these box sets, even more if you want to go a full Wookiee, run down your throat type Wookiee activation, mass activation Wookiee list. And in that card, you get your Wookiee Chieftain. Not that great. I've used him. He's not the worst card out there. He's not the worst commander out there, but I just find that, Chewbacca might be better. And so you get your Wookiee Warriors, and they're the shooty Wookiee Warriors, and they have 2 white dice at range 3. I wish they were white and black. That'd become really cool. And they got Sharpshooter 1, which is good. Always Sharpshooter's always good. And then you got your melee Wookiees, and they can shoot at range 2, a white and black. But really there is so much more with them having charge and be able to punch, and 3 wounds on each of these Wookiees, which is great. You get mad amounts of them. So let's just look at the Wookiee list that recently. This is one that did well in one of the. It went top 8 in one of the ones in Europe, I believe, and it was Chewbacca with 5 Wookiee Warriors with the battle shields. You pretty much need a battle shield, recon intel, which gets them up there, and then 2 shooty Wookiees with the bowcaster and targeting scopes that gives you a little bit more. So in order to make this, I did the math. I thought at first that you could do it with 4, but you're 1 Wookiee short with 4 if you build them all perfectly. So you could do it with 4 and the Rebel Wookiee, or you could do 5 and you have a couple Wookiees extra. So you could do a Chieftain, and you could do a long gun, which nobody's using here, but you could use the long gun, which is a range 4 Wookiee gun. And the other thing you might want to do, you could go to 4 and then do some Fluttercrafts. And the Fluttercrafts in the Wookiee Battle Force is actually better than the Fluttercrafts in the normal GAR faction, because they have a ability to go up to range 3, which makes them better. And then with the overrun buff right now, they're a bit better. And so again, I show you Chewbacca's card here. Now, all that said and all said and done, really, what is my best thoughts? I said the best way to get into GAR, and so that's going back to this. And so my thought is, see if you can split a core set with somebody, buy the 501st box, buy Padme, buy Yoda, and then buy the Republic Specialist box. So you can usually get, and these are Canadian prices, I don't know, American prices are a little better, but you can usually get the 501st for about $140. And so $140 for the 501st gives you a lot. And then if you can get a good deal on this, you're not going to get my Christmas deal, but say you don't get the Christmas deal and you pay $80 for the core set. That's what a core set goes for, about $80 to $90. If you get the core set for $80 or $90, maybe $100 max, and split it, that's $50. You're looking at just over $190 for them, and then Padme 20, that's 60. You're sitting 250 to 270 for a full-fledged army with lots of different ability. And it's not a bad price point to get in. I'm not talking about price point so much, but it is a fun army because you get lots of variety. You can add in an ATRT, you can add in a bark, you can add in a few flares in here and there, and it's going to be competitive because the dodge ability and the aim ability on clones makes them pretty competitive. So this is a good way if you want to get in on Legion and you want to play GAR. This is probably a really good way to start. And some people say, well, you don't need the core set, but Obi-Wan's really cool. Even though he's not played a lot and he's not like the top tier commander. Don't you just want to say hello there? Hello there. I have the high ground. Anyways, so it's nice when you have them up there and he's above somebody, you can say, I've got the high ground. Anyways, thank you for coming out. If you made it this far, I'm so glad you are here, and please like, subscribe, and add a comment so I can put you in our draw for one of our prizes. And we're going to have some new prizes after we give away those prizes, but we're excited, and hopefully you'll check out all the other how to get started in Legion, and hope you enjoy this. But the most important thing is to find people that you can play with, because the game is only so good. It's great to have the models, paint them. I'm thinking about showing all the different my painting's not great, but showing all my collections and how I went around painting them soon. But here's the thing: have fun, and always the Force will be with you. Talk to you later, guys.